Hello and welcome to TPM's 4-Minute Friday. Today I'd like to take a little time and take a look at schedules, specifically working with what are called schedule keys. Schedule keys are a way to what I would call backfill your data. It allows you to have a typical used information and apply it to multiple objects rather than have to type all those objects in individually. So let's go ahead and switch over to Revit and I'll take a look and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are inside of Revit. You see we got a little project here, and we got some office spaces, some rooms. This is the type of thing, and a small project, we probably wouldn't want to use this because we can, pick multiple offices and drop in the data over here. However, if we have a larger project, a hospital or a school where we have lots of rooms that are distributed across the project, and they're often finished out the same way, so again, a school or a hospital, we would be rather difficult and painful to constantly updating this between multiple locations, panning from one wing to the next. So what we can do here is use what are called a schedule key. Schedule keys allow us to put the data in first and then apply them to multiple objects at one time. So how do we do that? Well, you see, I've already got a schedule in place. Pretty typical, nothing unusual about this, and we can certainly put the data in here. But what we want to do is we're saying that we have a lot of offices that are scheduled out or finished out the same way. So what we can do is simply create another schedule, but this time we create a schedule key. So the way we do that, come on down here and say we want to work with rooms. That'll give us the data we want to work with. But rather than doing the actual building components, we want to work with schedule keys. Key name will be called room style. That's fine. You'll see where this shows up in a second here. Just a word of note, this is a schedule that is typically not considered to be something you would plot. You certainly could, but again, it's more of an area or way to put data in first and then apply it to multiple objects, and then that will then show up in the main schedule. So what I'm talking about. So we go in here, we have our data for rooms over here on the left as we would expect. So let's say we got our base finish, ceiling finish, floor finish, and our wall finish. Are all going to be the same. Possibly a department. If you're working on a large hospital, you could say, well, these all belong to the same department. What we're going to be doing here is say that we have a typical type of room with all these same finishes inside of it. I don't really need to pretty this up by looking at formatting or appearance. I certainly can, but I don't intend to print or plot this, so there's no reason to do that. I'm simply using it to put my data in first. So we go ahead and OK that and look at it. You'll see we have an empty schedule. This is why I said you're kind of doing it in reverse. What we want to do is we want to put our data in here. So we insert a data row. And there's the key name. We're going to call this, a typical classroom. And then we're going to specify what we want for the finish, some type of vinyl. And our ceiling will be acoustic tile. And our floor, some type of carpet. And then finally our walls, whatever finishes they need to be. And again, we can add another one in. Maybe we have an administration room. We have, if it's a hospital, different type of departmental rooms or patient rooms. We're going to stick with the typical classroom. So with this now defined, if we now go back to our floor plan and I pick on one or more of my offices or room objects, I'm going to kind of pick a random sampling here. Rather than typing all these in or panning to different parts of the project with different wings, now that I've added this schedule key, I now have this option for room style. This was not there earlier. So from the drop down I can say, well, all those are going to be the typical classroom. So I'm assigning all the data in the typical classroom to all of these office spaces. And you'll see when I do that, it fills all that data in for me. I don't have to go individually do that. So what that means is if I now go look at my finish schedule, the one that I tend to print, all that data is filled out. The advantage of maintaining this is if I now realize that rather than using our vinyl 1, we've decided we want to switch over and make that our vinyl 6, make a vinyl 6 here, and it shows up as vinyl 6 all through here. And of course we can verify and see that back on the floor plan view in the model by looking at the properties that are listed here as well. So again, schedule keys allow us to fill the data in first and then apply it to multiple objects at one time. So hopefully this will help you out with your production. It's a nice, easy way of working with this. It's something people are probably not terribly familiar with for their first couple of months of working with Revit. And start playing with this, maybe set up a little project like I've got, see how you can work with it. So there you go. Thank you for your time with TPM's 4-Minute Friday, and we'll talk to you later.